Welcome back to If Not Now. If you're new here, I suggest checking out the first 2 parts of our epic Fraser Island adventure. For the legends who are up to date, thank you by the way, it's fair to say that we have saved the best for last. This week we soak up some of the more iconic locations on the island, making our way down the east coast to our final campsite of the week, where we finally see the island's infamous dingoes.
I'm going to get into them before the dingo steals it right out of my hand.
Float down the freshwater phenomenon that is Eli Creek.
Yeah, we've got the whole place to ourselves now, so we're just sort of wandering down the creek, going for a bit of a swim. Freshwater. Yeah. It's pretty good. We haven't been in freshwater now for about a week.
I just bought a new one. Spend a couple thousand just to cruise it. Shawty said she love me, but it's
Check out the SS Maheno and see what 100 years of salt water and wave energy does to a shipwreck.
What I find insane is there's still the timbers on the deck up there, which baffles me. I thought it would all just be the steel now.
That's the stuff that I love, We can be friends if you wanna.
And take a dip in hands down the freshest water we've ever seen in Lake Mckenzie.
Oh my god, look how white that sand is.
Holy smoke, Lake Mckenzie, ripper.
If you wanna, we could just kiss if you wanna. Hey, tell me what you wanna do. It's like the story of my life. Best friends, but we rocking all the same things.
Then we hike through the dunes to the emerald pools of Lake Wabby.
You literally would have to walk all the way to the top of the sand dune and look down and be like, oh my god, fresh water. That's like something out of a movie.
You're showing love, you a real chameleon. Get the facts freaking straight, always on repeat. Like,
Before finally saying goodbye to this awesome island.
Get the good things on the way in, get the shit on the way out.
we could just laugh if you wanna. Late nights under stars if you wanna. We could just kiss if you wanna. Hey, tell me what you wanna do.
With camp packed up, we were ready to head back down the beach, going through Nagala Rocks for the second time.
We're just sat here at the minute at Nagala Rocks. We're coming back south from Kari campground and we're just sitting here for a couple of minutes. A couple of guys have come through on their radios and they know that a couple of people are bogged. So one-way track, we're waiting for the people that have got bogged, which I think is this guy in front, to get through. And then we'll head up. What was he saying?
Saying that it's clear.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's 2 coming through and now it's clear.
Alright, this is my first time in the car whilst going in the Nagala Rocks. There's a lot of people in the way. There's a guy just letting us know that it's clear because you don't want to stop midway on here.
Through the gnarliest bit. Jeez, it does bounce around a bit. This is how roof rack has moved so much, just because of how rutted out this road is. I don't know if you can see, but oh, we are bouncing around.
Yeah, this is much bouncier than I realised it would be. I thought the worst part was the bit that we're approaching. And maybe it is. This is where we're going. Okay, there's a lot of people watching. Dunk's doing awesome.
Back through it again.
I'm glad he's driving.
I know, that beeping you can hear is my parking sensors. I should have them turned off when forward driving. You don't need to tell me in the comments.
Okay, so it's obviously a single file trail, so we're just waiting for these guys to
Thanks,
reverse
guys.
off. And we're through!
We're through again, both ways.
That was good.
I'm just wanting to see how much the roof racks have moved. Didn't realise the first time we went through that, because you want to hit it pretty hard and not get bogged. And that sand's pretty chewed up and soft, that it must have been bouncing so much. The roof rack, I thought it was the kayaks move forward, but actually the whole roof racks move forward. So I have to do a couple of touch-up jobs and repair jobs when we get back from this trip.
I think so.
Anyway, back through and on with the adventure. Back to the easy stuff. That was the hardest.
Yeah. We made friends with some people in camp last night. and we've just been convoying back down the coast with them, and we stopped here because I think the third car has gotten bogged.
These guys managed to get themselves bogged down to the chassis, so like any good neighbour, we lent a hand to get them moving again.
I heard this thing couldn't get bogged. I thought it was impossible.
I just thought I'd practice getting out.
The trick to driving on sand is momentum, which, when you lose it, can cause your wheels to spin and to dig down in the sand. If this starts to happen, resist the urge to push further down on the accelerator, hoping that you might just dig your way out. Yeah, we've all been there. Remember, a car that bottoms out is way harder to get moving again than one that catches the spin early. That being said, we managed to get them out with just maxtrax and a good push, but often snatch straps and a winch is needed to get the car moving again. Take 2 with a good run up and plenty of momentum does the trick, and we're off again. Well, that is until I don't listen to my own advice and do this.
As you can see here, we came around the corner, and because of the steepness of the path, I probably slowed down too much, which then meant hitting the soft sand. Then I just started spinning. So dig out the tyres a bit, put the maxtrax under, hopefully we'll get up. If not, maybe we'll put the winch in and winch our way out. With that, I think it's good to come to the island and have to do at least one rescue for yourself. Arguably, we could have gotten out without the maxtrax, but if you got them, you may as well use them, right? Anyway, that was pretty gnarly. You can see how much soft sand there was. That's just all soft as all hell.
And a pretty weird angle.
Yeah.
The left tyre's riding so high.
One of the radiator arms I know is like touching here, so I didn't want to spin anymore. Because if I did, you risk bottoming out. Even though we've got a ton of clearance, you don't want to bottom out. Huge pain in the ass. Righto, well, put these back on and get on the road.
After a fun afternoon of four-wheel drive recovery practice and kind of pretending we know what we're doing, we arrive at Beach Camp Zone 4 and pitch our swag on a sheltered part of the dunes. Camping on the island is managed in zones, so there are no allocated sites, which in my opinion is great and gives you a lot of flexibility when picking out a site. As long as you aren't super indecisive like Soph and I are and take ages picking out that perfect spot.
It looks like there's just too many good spots to choose from, which is a bad problem to have. So we have this high one here, which is maybe a little bit more protected, more grass. And then, if we go on the other side, we have arguably what I call beachfront. Set our swag up here, or we could even put our swag up over here. So, not a bad problem to have at all. Let's go see what the verdict is with the boss. What's the verdict? Where are we going to camp?
Yeah, I like the idea of putting the swag in the dunes. So as long as we just put the car somewhere off the road, a little bit closer, then I think the swag in the dunes.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Woohoo!
You never pass up putting a swag in some sand dunes.
Nah.
One of the things I don't like, you can see people have been doing it, and maybe it's okay for the ecology here, but driving on the sand dunes, they will just rip it up and destroy the dunes. So although people have been doing it, I want to avoid it if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not even going to tell you how long picking a camp spot actually took, but once camp was set up, we headed up the beach to the freshwater oasis that is Eli Creek. More than a little keen for a swim after a week of getting pretty crusty in the salt water, we'd heard that you could float down the creek, lazy river style. Eli is the largest creek on the eastern side of the island and pours up to a staggering 4 million litres of fresh water into the ocean every hour, which is pretty crazy if you think about it.
We made it to Eli Creek.
Nice. It's great to be in the fresh water again and wash off the salt. I think it's probably the first time we've been in fresh water for a week.
I'm loving it. My hair feels semi-normal.
We actually got here a little bit earlier and walked down here, but there was a lot of people. I think there was like 3 or 4 tall buses.
Yeah.
So we waited, sat in the sun, got a bit of a tan, and then now not a soul. So it definitely shows that it pays to wait and just sort of wait it out because
the tall buses all come out at the same time in the afternoon, but by 3 or 4, they're all gone.
Yeah, exactly. And we could have sort of gone through and called it a day and it'd been like, yeah, that was quite nice, but coming back, spending the time and having a bit of a swim, washing off all the salt was really worth it. So if you're coming, what's the time now? Probably about 4?
It's probably about 4, just before 4.
Yeah, wait around, the tour buses are there and sort of leave around 3 o'clock. So come around 4 o'clock and then you can
just have it hopefully to yourself.
Pretty much have it all to yourself like we do, which is absolutely perfect, to be honest.
It is really nice. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, you sink down a bit here. Like the difference between where I am to where Sophie is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was expecting it to be a bit deeper, but it is beautifully clear, crystal clear. And I think something phenomenal like 300,000 million gallons goes through here.
We might fact check that number, but yeah, 300 million gallons.
I think it's something ridiculous if what I've read is to be believed, goes through this every day, fresh water straight out to the sea, which is pretty crazy, right? But anyway, yeah, really cool. Worth checking out for sure.
I'm not sure if we were there when there wasn't a huge amount of water flowing through, but there were definitely sections where you could float down like a lazy river and sections where you couldn't. But super refreshing and definitely worth a dip. FYI, Sophie said that I'm only allowed to put this shot in if I point out that that's a mosquito bite on her ass and not a pimple. Sorry, it's bum, not ass. As the sun goes down, we finally get to see some of the island's infamous dingo population. Dingoes are most active at dawn and dusk, and as the apex predator of the island, they fulfill a vital role in the ecology, eating just about anything, including kangaroos, wombats, and even fish. That being said, it's important not to feed these guys, even if they do look cute. And always secure your rubbish, because they will run off with just about anything they can get their teeth into. Like this guy trying to make a break for it with our delicious dirty dishes.
What are you doing? Oi, get out of it.
We also learned something new about dingoes. When they yawn, they go from good doggy to, oh my god, protect the children, and back in seconds. So remember that face next time you think about patting one of these wild animals. Emphasis on the wild.
Oh, somebody please pick up the children!
After our little dingo encounter, being very conscious not to have any food anywhere because he was trying to come and steal all our food. So what we're making tonight is pork, chorizo, sort of Spanishy, Asian influencey tacos. It wasn't actually something that we thought we were gonna cook, so we haven't brought ingredients to cook it. We bought ingredients to cook loads of different things, and this just happens to be a perfect combination of what's left in the esky. You know, getting to the second last night, you have this, you have all the esky stuff getting defrosted, and you're like, I'm gonna start cooking all the raw and fresh stuff up before it goes off. So Asian, fusion, Mexican, chorizo tacos, cooked on a sand dune. I think it's gonna taste pretty bloody good, to be honest with you. But yeah, and we're still cooking on our little Camp Master. So this little gas-powered stovetop we've used for everything since we've been on the camp.
Even the pizzas.
Even pizzas last night. Every single thing we've cooked has been on this Camp Master, even making coffees. And I can't sing this little thing's praises higher. Like, we've bumped into people who are using them and they've got Webers and stuff, but they end up using this more than that because it just does everything. It's like having your own sort of gas stovetop with you wherever you go. So cooking up on that, everything's almost ready here. And yeah, gonna put together some tacos and get into it. How are you finding fighting a dingo for your dinner?
I'm just eating as fast as I can.
You got sauce on the side of your mouth?
It tastes really good. I don't want to rush it, but I'm mindful that we're eating pork and chorizo, two things that a dingo probably loves.
Literally got a dingo waiting there patiently for food. Not that we've fed him, but very cute. Hoping we'll drop some, I assume. And then yeah, Steph and I just chilling here. Munching down on some Asian fusion tacos. But if you're Asian or fusion or Mexicano, you would be horrified by, but they take all the best ingredients and they taste bloody amazing. So I'm gonna get into them before the dingo steals it right out of my hand.
With full bellies and the last of the light, we headed to bed, ready for our biggest day of exploring yet. Waking up to another day in paradise, I joined the native wildlife for a saltwater bath before our first stop of the day, Mojino Shipwreck. The SS Maheno was an ocean liner belonging to the Union Company of New Zealand and operated in the Tasman Sea, crossing between Australia and New Zealand from 1905 to 1935. In World War I, it was commissioned as Hospital Ship No. 1 and used by the New Zealand Navy before being struck by a cyclone and washing up on Fraser Island, where it remains today.
Mojino Shipwreck. So when it was wrecked on this beach, it was 30 years old, which I'm guessing is old by boat terms. No one really wanted to buy it except the Japanese, who said they were going to buy it for 15,000 English pounds. So in 1935, it was being towed on the way to Japan when a cyclone hit, the tow line broke, and this washed up on the shore. And it's been here for what, 90-ish years? I don't think it's done too badly. It's still here, you can still see it. And this boat is getting smashed by the waves every single day. How cool.
And this is like mid-tide, like lowish tide, so like it comes in, gets fully submerged, smashed again, goes out, and all the sand will be working at it, but it's still here. It really makes you think how long things would last in the ocean when they sink and they're perfectly preserved. Like, what I find insane is there's still the timbers on the deck up there, which baffles me. I thought it would all just be the steel now. And you can see why they say don't like go within like 3 meters of the wreck, because the bit there was obviously the side of it and it's completely detached. And I think over time this is just going to get more and more and more sort of submerged and sort of torn apart till eventually it doesn't exist at all. I really wonder how long that'll take, because I mean it's a pretty impressive sight. Definitely worth stopping off and seeing. So yeah, Mojino Shipwreck, done. Yeah, so did Maheno wreck, which we actually went past yesterday, but then thought we'd go back when there was a few less tourists about, because you know you've got to, we're learning on this island, you've really got to time when you do things for when the big tour buses sort of doing other things or have left the island or before they come. So if you time it right, you get these beautiful places completely to yourself, like Eli Creek and so on, but if you time them wrong, be prepared there's going to be...
So as a general rule of thumb, before 9 AM in the morning and probably after 3.
I don't wanna live life fast or die too young. Die too young. 100 miles per hour might crash, cause a good die young. Yeah, a good die young. Push it to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no way, I'm coming back home. On dirt road, all on my own. I'ma be the greatest, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back
Just
home.
onto Lake Mckenzie.
Oh my God, look how white that sand is. Jesus.
Holy smoke.
That
That's insane.
is some of the whitest, bluest water I think I've ever seen. That literally looks like you're in like Bora Bora or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say the Maldives or Whitsundays or somewhere. Alright.
How cool. Can't wait to get in the water.
Lake Mckenzie, the Ripper. So we just saw a couple of people cross over here and it came up to their nipples. So I'm hoping they're not 6'7".
So far it's belly buttonish.
Yeah. I feel a bit like a pack horse from my neck upwards anyway.
You do?
I've just put all the towels on. Oh, it's getting deeper.
Belly button.
Uh-oh.
It's getting shallower now, so.
There we go. Dunk's made it.
How bloody cool is this water? Like you feel it as well. It's like the freshest. You get a bit of water in your mouth on the way around.
Yeah.
It's like freshest possible water. I like generally feel like you bottled this stuff and you wouldn't know the difference between
Mount Franklin. Evian.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but that's only because that's what's in my head from what the other guy said. But Evian, glacier water. What are they saying? It's this water's like been filtered by the sand for like 100 years or something.
Oh.
It's really cool to understand how all this water sort of gets here and then how it gets so clear. I'm assuming it's because it's a sand island, it's just filtered through all the tributaries in, and then here it just sort of like soaks through and all the, I don't know, impurities get filtered out? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. That's definitely one for Google when we get signal when we get back.
Yeah. Cut to voiceover where we know all the facts. So at the moment we're just guessing, but the good thing in voiceovers is you can be an expert on anything because you got Dr. Google and a microphone.
Okay, yeah, not a bad guess, but the truth is slightly more interesting than that. Mackenzie is a perched lake sitting at 100 metres above sea level, which means it contains only rainwater, no groundwater, is not fed by streams and does not flow into the ocean. The sand and organic matter at the base of the lake forms an impervious layer preventing rainwater from draining away. The sand here is pure white silica and acts as a filter, giving the water its clarity and helping make the water so pure that it can't actually support life. Yeah, that's right, so pure it can't support life. Being 100% rainwater, the water is actually acidic, making it difficult for just about any life to survive. The traditional owners of the land, the Bachala people, believe that Gardi, Fraser Island, was created when the goddess was transformed into land, with the lake actually being one of her eyes. The lake's name, Burangura, literally translates to water of wisdom, as the Bachula tribe once exclusively using the site as a place to think and for making decisions, by listening to the spirits on the winds.
I feel like that's the moral of our story of Fraser Island, if there is a moral to this story, is you can avoid the crowds if you time it right, so come at the right time of day, and if you just take the effort to wander a little bit further right or left of the main sort of attraction, then you end up on beaches like this where it's just us. So.
Naming it Paradise Beach.
Paradise Beach, Duncan and Sophie's Paradise Beach.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
It has a real name, I'm just not sure what it is. Anyway, how good? Let's go for a swim.
We would not to. Slow-mo, cinematic.
Is it slow-mo?
Baywatch. No.
That water, honestly, I know you shouldn't, or probably shouldn't, or maybe you can, I don't know, but it tastes like you could just be drinking that stuff by the gallon.
Particularly when you've been on the island and you show you salt water, it's really weird when you go into the, well, not the ocean, but into the water and you think it's going to be salty. And it's not.
It's because of all the white sand. You expect it to be salty, and then when it's not, it's like, whoa, tastes so good. Whew, okay, what a day. What was that?
I was looking at you going, yes.
Sophie just saying smoking hot to herself. trying to veil it by saying you're talking about me. No, you weren't.
I think you look good. This suits you. It's like a little Turkish towel, a little sarong going on there with the hat. Spin it round. Let me show you. Look at that, man.
This is the dad look. Rocking the dad look hard.
I like where you've tucked in the fold just in between your legs.
Yeah?
It's a good package.
Right. I take it from your commentary that it's not a good look.
No.
But it's the dad look. It's the cover up your belly look.
After you just eaten some food.
After I've just eaten some food, yeah. After my little Pantene Provene beard, what'd you call it? Ad in the water.
Yeah, I reckon we hit up some of the shampoo cosmetics companies. See if we can't get you a little contract on the side. What do you reckon?
Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's just Pantene Provene beard care for men.
I apologise about the shaky camera movements. I'm trying not to laugh and hold the camera.
Maybe she's born with it.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Moisture is the essence of wetness, and wetness is the essence of beauty.
We read a lot that there's so many people here and it's, you know, a bit too touristy, but I don't know. Second place in 2 days that we've managed to come at the right time, do a little bit of extra work, a little bit of extra effort, and then you get to experience it as if you were discovering it for the first time on your own. So definitely do your research when you come to Fraser Island because this is pretty bloody special, right?
Alright, after me. Come on.
Driving back through the centre of the island is truly awe-inspiring, how so many different landscapes can exist in one space. From ancient rainforests and their giant tree canopies, to centuries-old sand dunes that have been carved by the elements. And there's more lakes and beaches than you could shake a stick at. Once again, just like Lake Mckenzie, the rainforest is extraordinarily unique. Being the largest sand island in the world, the island is, unsurprisingly, completely made out of sand. For most plants, growing in sand is typically impossible, and Fraser Island is the only known sand island that is home to a large rainforest system like this one. What makes plant production in sand so rare is sand is notoriously low in nutrients, which are essential for plant life. However, the sand does have a mycorrhizal fungus which aids in the nutrients surviving in the sand, actually making it a supreme plant growing environment. Now, you could enjoy the island without knowing any of those facts. However, once you know them, it does make these amazing landscapes all the more special to experience. This is one of those areas we would love to go back to and spend some more time, walking amongst the giant trees and canopies of the rainforest. Unfortunately, we're running out of time and light, so we headed back to camp. I guess you got to leave some things for next time, right?
Fraser Island. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little bit sad not waking up to views like this every morning. It's been pretty bloody special being here. One of the best things is we've been going to bed when the sun goes down, so we've been going to bed at like, I don't know, 7, 8 o'clock. So waking up at 5, 6 in the morning, this early morning sun has been pretty easy. Anyway, and having a swag set up on the dunes like this isn't half bad. We're literally waking up to and going to sleep to the sound of the crashing waves. It's going to take a lot of getting used to going back to the van, but I'm sure we'll make it work. Jeez, she's not half bad, is she? Not half bad at all. I wake up and she's already making a coffee. If there's more to waking up in the morning than having your beautiful wife make you a coffee, I want to know what it is, because I can't think of anything.
Still making this Middle Eastern coffee that we bought the other day, which looks a bit odd, but actually doesn't taste half bad at all. I add coconut milk to mine and it's really nice.
Yeah, it's that Middle Eastern coffee we bought, which we thought was normal coffee grounds that you could put in the percolator. But what we're realizing, it's instant coffee and it makes a lot quicker, but it does leave a brown sludge that you're not meant to drink, which it does reference in the instructions. But if you're not paying attention, you try and finish all the coffee in your cup, like I do often, you're more than likely going to get a lot of coffee sludge in your mouth. So, yeah, pros and cons, I guess. Your chair's set up on the top of the dunes. Nice crisp morning. I think it's going to be about 23 and sunny again. The weather has just been amazing. Sunny the entire time that we've been here. So, yeah, kind of getting used to it now. Kind of expect it to be sunny every morning when we wake up. I don't know. Maybe we're in for a rude shock when this stops. Maybe we're just in a good patch, but it's pretty nice at the moment. Alright, so what's happening here? When I'm packing up our camp, what are you doing?
I know we did say we were going to pack up camp real quick, but then I remembered we had some eggs and bacon and mushrooms left, so I feel it's rude not to use all the ingredients that you've got left before you leave Fraser Island. So I'm making up some bacon and mushrooms in a pan, then I'm going to throw on some eggs, then we're going to eat breakfast, and then we're going to head on the road.
All the while I pack up the swag, the car, and everything we need to get on the road. So I've learned a long time ago, you don't argue with a honorary Australian or English person about cooking a fry up in the morning. It doesn't go well for you.
Between them and their English breakfast.
You don't come between them and their bacon and eggs. Anyway, worse things have happened, so I'll just keep packing up. And then hopefully I get a nice sausage and egg sandwich out of it at the end. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, now it's in front of me, I'm pretty psyched about brekkie.
Dunk wasn't lying, he's packed up the whole of our camp just there. I've made brekkie.
Wasn't hard though, it's like a swag. Alright, let's get into this.
Yeah.
How to stop insect bites being itchy. Wow, Google thought that said how to stop rising foggy. Come on, Google. Even when you don't think you're getting bitten, like first night for us, cover yourself in insect repellent, because the first night camp spot, and we've been itchy ever since and covered in bites, we got absolutely obliterated by bloody sandflies, mosquitoes. I don't know what they were, but my ass is covered in bites. I don't even know how they got to that. But yeah, so cover yourself in insect repellent first day, otherwise you're gonna be itchy the entire bloody week. And it's 6 days in now, and I'm like, why are these bites still bloody itchy?
So good. It's definitely worth it.
Saying goodbye to our final campsite of the trip, we hit the road. Well, beach really. Heading to our last point of interest, Lake Wabby, for a quick dip before we had to catch our ferry back to the mainland that afternoon.
Not to sound like a broken record, but once again, there's no one here.
Yeah, I don't know why there's no one here.
It's actually a bit worrying when you get to a car park and you think, oh, maybe we've gone the wrong way. But there's signs here that say we're at Lake Wabby, so let's go.
How cool are gum trees like this, where you can see the entire central trunk of it has been burnt out by a bushfire and is now like, you know, pretty brittle and been eaten by termites, and so it's burnt all the way up, and then post the bushfire it's regrown all around its sort of like burnt out trunk. You can see it goes up all the way up, so like the tree pretty much regrew itself from scratch, which is always cool to see. We better keep going this walk because we don't have much time.
Yeah.
Big sand dunes. Lake Wabby is a deep emerald green, in stark contrast to the blue sapphire water that we had at Lake Mckenzie.
Quick swim in Lake Wabby. I prefer the other one, it's a bit fresher than the other one. This feels more like the river back home.
Yeah. Well, the other one we can see right down to the bottom.
It's really cool to swim in something that you know is not going to be here in however many years.
That sand dune is moving maybe about a metre a year.
A metre a year into the lake. So sooner or later the lake will, I guess, cease to exist.
Yeah.
Lake Wabby has formed over time as the Hammerstone sandblow has gradually blocked up a coastal creek. Today, the lake and the sandblow are in a slow-motion battle for survival, and it's estimated that within the next century the lake will be completely swallowed by sand blowing down the dunes and filling up the lake. At 11.4 metres deep, the lake is the deepest dune lake on Fraser Island and comes alive with 12 species of fish, including a rare honey blue eye. Unfortunately, the water is a little green, and I'm not sure if what we're looking at is a honey blue eye, but still cool to see some life in the water. How cool is Lake Wabby? Can you imagine? Look at these big ass sand dunes. Could you imagine walking across there, one after the other, because that goes back like a K, and then seeing this fresh water in front of you, like little oasis. You literally would have to walk all the way to the top of the sand dune and look down and be like, oh my god, fresh water. That's like something out of a movie. This is really cool, nice to get a freshwater dip. Fortunately, we have got to get to a ferry, so let's get back in the car and head home. Sad times.
Lake Wabby, done. We have done absolutely all of the activities we wanted to get done on Fraser Island.
All the ones we planned to do. Yeah.
Oh, there's always more. There's so much else that we could do, but enough that we could get through in 6 days. So we're going to head back to the ferry now. It leaves in 3 hours, which, as long as we don't come across anyone that's been bogged or any road closures, should be enough time to get there and spend some time cleaning off all the salt and the sand off the car as well.
Yeah, and that's an important one. Right at the jetty, there's a fuel station, and at that fuel station there are two things: freshwater hose, which freshwater people washing their car down with to get all the sand, grit, muck off the car that we've accumulated over a week of full driving. And the other one is a air compressor, so I don't have to link off our battery and use ours. I can just fill the tyres back up to 40 PSI ready for the mainland. So yeah,
Can't wait. I'm savouring every bump we go through at the moment because this is the last sort of trails we'll do on the island. So it almost feels sad to be going down our last sort of sandy track, but we'll definitely be back.
Push it to the limit, I can't go no more. Red light, no way, I'm coming back home. Long dirt road, all on my own. I'ma be the greatest, write my name in the stone. Write my name in the stone. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Write my name in the stone. Cause I'm coming back home. Yeah, I'm coming back home. Right back where I left because I know my people needed me. Diamond in the rough, I don't know what it is they see in me. Go down as a legend in my city.
I think I got just as much of a bath as the car did. But it's like we never went on sand. How good's that?
Woo. She looks so shiny and clean.
100 miles per hour might crash, cause good die young. But here I come.
The boat last time. Get the good things on the way in, get the shit on the way out.
Join us next time as we head to Ellie Beach to explore the Whitsundays and to catch up with one of Dunk's old schoolmates, Tim. Hey Tim! He's lived in Ellie for the past 12 years, so this week he's playing tour guide and taking us to some of his favourite spots. We hike through the rainforest and clamber up to the top of a very steep mountain for one of the most insane views, 360 degrees of straight blue. Then on to Whitehaven for an afternoon just chilling out, catching rays, eating snacks. Oh, and we also take to the skies to see what the Whitsundays looks like from the air. Yep, this week has been pretty crazy. So subscribe, hit the notification bell to find out when this video drops. We'll see you there.